Warning, the following broadcast, starring 2 of the 5 more educated members of the mediocre chart racing pop rock band Massive Wagons, may contain swearing. We apologise if it causes offence. All opinions are our own.
Right, we're going.
We're going. He's
setting down.
I'm setting down.
Setting down. Yes, welcome to the Triggered Podcast.
Yeah, episode number 19.
19, blimey.
No, 19. There's a song like
they
from
always,
the 80s,
do you know that famous expression, the 19th podcast is always the best?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
Is what they say.
It's in the podcast world, that is the saying.
Yeah, but I is it 2 weeks we've had off?
I haven't had 2 weeks off.
I've had 2 weeks off.
Don't tell me.
I've had 2 weeks off.
You had a bloody good reason though.
Yeah, I had a baby, another baby. Well, I personally didn't. My wife did, but
oh well, that would have been exciting.
It would have been
if you'd have had a baby.
Well, it would have made the news, I imagine. But yeah, I'm a bit tired and a bit spaced out right now.
A bit more grumpy than normal.
Definitely more grumpy than normal, but which takes some doing. But yeah, I'm triggered of babies and childbirth and in general, to be honest.
The noise next door and the fact that it's just like pissing with rain.
It has. Yeah, well,
you can't hear anything.
You know what? The noise pollution as of next week will not be an issue, will it?
It won't, because we're moving.
We're moving
to it. Hold on.
Can you hear that? Is the rain coming through on the cast?
Our complex microphone system.
Yeah, but it's we're moving next week, so we'll have our own little.
None of this rain business.
None of this rain or hair clippers going next door or whatever they're doing.
Dog training, where the fuck he does next door. Yeah. Nobody actually knows what he does next door, to be honest.
It's a bit weird, but...
No, anyway, there you go. But yeah, we're back. It's a podcast, Triggered Podcast. Me and him, we're here again after 2 weeks. It's good to be back.
He's good to be back, actually. It's good to be back and, talking to,
ourselves in front of a screen.
Yeah. Talking to ourselves.
Yeah. Everybody was put on this earth for a reason, and ours was to talk to ourselves.
But there's plenty to be triggered about at the moment, isn't there?
Oh, there is.
I have to say, yeah, there's loads.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go into it. Would have been a good one, wouldn't it? What's that? What's he called? Miles. He would have been a good one, wouldn't he? We're not going to talk about that today.
No,
it's like a plaster that's just been ripped off. It's a bit too raw.
It is a little bit raw, isn't it? And also it's a bit of a sensitive one, given the fact that of where we are in the world.
Come in.
Yeah, did you hear the? It's honestly just it's so noisy.
You could fucking write in this place, could you? Yeah, you couldn't write. It's like an haunted house.
I'm not gonna miss it for this. I'll miss.
Not even a bit.
No, I'll miss it for things, but I ain't gonna miss that. I'm not gonna miss being.
I tell you what, if you do miss it, we can just get Terry to go outside with a frying pan and a wooden spoon and just bang, bang on the window.
And one of them, just with all the percussion and just basically
just to bring back get back the ambience of the podcast. Maybe the people at home might miss it.
Maybe they will. To be honest, they might not even be able to hear it. They think we're just insane.
A couple of absolute nutcases.
But trust us, this room is noisier than it seems.
Than it appears at home.
But... Yeah. So anyway, what we getting triggered about this week?
Well, we've had a lot in. Thank you very much if you've commented on. We've got the page, the Massive Wagons. Check the name of it there, Triggered Podcast page on Facebook, and thank you very much if you've left a gripe or some piano playing skills tips.
Tommy Cooper.
Just yeah, well, you've written a lot down, and I've got it all written here, and thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Tried to reply to everybody. It's all a good laugh, isn't it? But we've had some great ones. We're going to start with this one. This is a real great one. This is from our good friend Lauren Hutchinson of Bury fame.
Tottington,
I think. Yeah, Lauren. For those that don't know, she appears on a song of ours, "Shit, Sweat, Death," isn't it?
She does. Well, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a weird, funny tale, isn't it? She came in very, very generously. Well, we always knew her through. She managed bands and she booked events and things like that.
Came to shows and that.
Came to shows and she worked just in
the Flying Scuttle.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and so that's how we knew her.
Shuttle.
And we didn't know she was a singer or anything like that. I think we knew she did
a little bit.
But anyway, we never heard her sing, and she very generously pledged for an album. Remember when Pledge was a thing? Pledge Music.
Yeah, before they ruined it.
Well, they ruined it for themselves, didn't they?
They did. Yeah.
When they scamming people. Or
and poor old Bernie Tomei. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, but and so one of the things that she pledged for was to come spend a day in the studio and get on the album. And it's always one of them sort of situations where it's like, you're a Yeah, you turn them down.
That was great, love, great.
You're obliged, you know. And anyway, she went into the vocal booth and she was like, what do you want me to do? Like,
what want me to do, like?
What do you want me to do?
Do you know,
like,
don't talk like that. She absolutely hates us for doing that. Sorry, Lauren. That's a Shittsbury accent.
I know.
Surely that, wasn't it, really?
Bury.
Anyway, let's get off this.
And anyway, ended up, she opened, and it was like, everyone was sat there nervously in the control room, and she was bloody amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was like bloody Aretha Franklin walked in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Good grief.
Mental. And then it was like the total opposite. It was like, yeah, do more. You know?
Do you fancy doing the chorus on your own?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Because she was just going to do some backing vocals, I think, and some harmonies, and then she belted out this chorus, and it's like, that's going in the song. Yeah. That's we're turning that up.
Yeah, she's amazing singer.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
So that song, if you haven't heard it, Shit, Sweat, Death.
That's the reason it sounds so good.
Yeah, it's because of Lauren.
And we're all mate Stephen play some slide guitar at the beginning, didn't he?
Oh, he did. Yeah, remember that. Yeah.
Old Steve. He's vanished, hasn't he? I haven't seen him for a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen Steve for a while.
I think he got a girlfriend, didn't he?
No.
That's what it happens, doesn't it?
There we go.
Seen him for ages.
Same old.
Anyway, let's get into the details of Stephen's personal life. Yeah, Lauren. Very interestingly, she's got quite a lot going on upstairs, Lauren, and she writes things very well, and she makes some very good points. You might have seen this in the news recently. Rewriting Roald Dahl books.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, the dumbing down of, terminology that may seem dated and all that.
I completely understand the thought process behind...
That's a train.
That's the 12:15 from it's going past. Process behind highlighting that language used in older books is no longer in alignment with today's values, but the actual rewrite is stupid. As an example, they've changed the language around Augustus Gloop to say enormous instead of fat. As a fat person, that A, doesn't actually make me feel any better because enormous is just interchangeable with fat, and B, it doesn't do anything to change the narrative that fat people are greedy, gluttonous, so it's pointless. It's performative, and there's also a question around the ethics of rewriting the work of an author posthumously. Either ban it, kind of stupid, or share it with a caveat that it has content no longer aligned with today's values. Rewriting it to pretend it never happened is really wrong and actually quite scary.
It is. Yeah, I mean...
Weird. Who's decided that?
Well, like Lauren says it all pretty much perfectly there. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, start these things, as I'm sure they already do with films and TV shows and whatever. They have like a little warning at the beginning and sort of say, this contains views and language which may be outdated and
we're more in keeping with the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't remake. Well, I suppose you can remake TV programs, but I said to Lauren online, I said, when are they going to shine? I mean, I'm not one for sort of pointing the finger at the genre of what we do, but rock and metal bands for the last 30, 40 years have all been...
Have used provocative language.
Absolutely, yeah. So some of our favourite bands. Yeah. You really go through some of those songs and it's
it's awful, really.
It's terrible stuff.
But to be honest, though, I mean...
Not that I'm pointing the finger at it or saying it should be changed, but I'm saying, when does that get light shone on it? Or is this more about... Has somebody bought the rights to these books and is now doing it to make some money?
I have no idea. I mean...
To resell them all?
Yeah, well, once you... Well, right, specifically talking about these Roald Dahl books, are they even that bad? You know what? I wouldn't have ever thought that Roald Dahl books were like... Well, I'm not reading that filth.
I could have thought of a better place to start than Roald Dahl.
Where's the line between... but that's a kid's book. All right, well, where do you draw that line then? So what? Yeah. Where does Harry Potter fall? Because I don't see any kids reading that. It's all 30-year-old,
It's strange.
Men and women.
It's hard to talk about because it just makes no sense.
No,
I can't understand the logic. I really can't.
I don't know. I mean, all right. Well, starting with this Roald Dahl book, where is the language anyway? Are there any examples? Because maybe I should have a look. But what
we should have googled this before we started talking. Yeah. But I mean, Lila has, my little girl, in our car. She has we got because we have a CD player in the car, like a collection of Roald Dahl books on audio. Read from, they must be from 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't know, read by the likes of John Cleese and Dim Helen Mirren and people like that. And there's like George's Marvellous Medicine, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Matilda, Chocolate Factory, BFG.
Charlie and the Responsibly Sourced Cocoa Coco production facility.
The Fantastic Fox.
Yeah. James and the generously proportioned peach. Actually, that sounds like a different film altogether.
James and the
doesn't
Brexit peach.
Well, but I'm just trying to Google quickly, like, some examples of the language that they want to change, because I don't really see
this is cynically what makes me believe is it been done for another reason, you know?
What, to drum up a bit more?
To rebrand them and relaunch them. Just somebody else set to make a lot of money from the guy's books. Has the family sold the rights to the books?
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, we're going to make them. We want to relaunch them, but we don't want to relaunch them in the same. It could be a lot of cobblers. They're just using this. This is. I mean, I haven't read I haven't. I should probably. Much things we do. Don't research anything. We just go running in feet first, head first, feet first, arse first.
Running in feet first. Can you do that?
We jump in
like
feet
madness.
First, head first. Yeah. But we do. But yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's just a.
It's I don't know. It sets a precedent, doesn't it? That's
it's awful.
That's the problem. It's like, well, once you like you said right at the beginning, what does that then open the door to do? Like going back and censoring song lyrics that may be offensive.
What are they going to do? Are they going to stop selling the old books? Stop selling the originals? Is that what's going to happen?
I don't know.
Or is it just a rewrite and a resell? You know, you can't erase history. I mean, like I said to Lauren, you'd like to think that the human race, we move forward and we progress and we learn to live with each other and we become better people and a better species and all that, and we learn from our past, but not at the expense of not knowing where you came from. You can't just write things away. You can't erase.
I think, having thought about it for a couple of minutes, I think
for a full 2 minutes.
For a full 2 minutes, this must just be because they're kids' books or they're aimed at a younger audience. That must be the only reason why this is even a discussion.
Oh, it's just ridiculous, though, because if you're reading them books, you're of a certain age anyway. I mean, you're not reading them at... I suppose you're reading them at 12, 10 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that age bracket, aren't you? I mean, you're...
Well, I mean...
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. The only example I can really use is the one Lauren gave, which is using the word, changing words for like fat and things like that.
Using enormous instead of fat.
Well, yeah, it seems so trivial to the point of being pointless. And if anything, it's just going to make, I don't know.
Did Roald Dahl famously hate adults? Didn't he? I don't know. I'm sure I might be wrong. I often am wrong. I'm sure he had like he wrote for kids, like, and he just wanted to make the kids the heroes, and adults were kind of the bad people. In all of his stories, it's all about the kids, isn't it? The kids and this wonderful universe they live in, and the grown-ups were all kind of.
It's like a kid's escapism, isn't it? Like,
he probably did it. I don't really blame him, to be honest.
No, we are bad. We are terrible.
Grown-ups,
yeah. It's a weird. It's just such
it's a fucking trap.
It's such a weird one though, because like it must just be about kids. Because if it wasn't a kids, if you wanted to go back, there's just no end to that. Almost any book ever written is going to contain.
It must be the people. The only people that can rewrite them are the people that own the rights to the books, surely, or own the books, because it can't be like a government thing or whoever decides the National Book Police. I mean, because you'd have to rewrite everything, wouldn't you? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
it's a cynical attempt to resell them. I think. Maybe.
Well, you're probably right, mate.
Bring them back. Right. Bring them back into the public eye.
And then you'll get the people that stubbornly won't buy the new version. Is it the old one? I wasn't going to buy this book anyway, but I'm not.
The blood bottlers are not in it.
Yeah.
The BFG, they've taken all the. What they changed all the names of the giants for? They called the blood bottler and the.
I don't remember that.
I can only remember 3 or 4 of them. I can't bloody remember them now. It's a great film, that as well. The film.
It's I don't know.
The bone cruncher.
Well, what
blood bottler.
What do they do about?
Can't remember.
The Oompa Loompas and things like that, because that already was a bit of a sort of like, well,
bit naughty.
Well, just a sort of. I honestly, I don't know. I'm sure that film, the original Willy Wonka,
with Gene Hackman.
Is it not Gene Wilder?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. He's not Gene Hackman. Is it Gene Wilder? Sorry.
Mississippi Burning. That'd have been a different film altogether.
Gene Hackman's in. What's the film he plays a copper police. Famous. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, is it not Mississippi Burning?
No. He might be in that.
Yeah,
I've never seen
yeah,
it. He plays a police detective in a famous...
Oh, he's great, Gene Hackman.
Sorry, you talk for a minute. I'm going to find it. It's going to do my head in.
Yeah, I think it's just...
Gene Hackman movies. It came straight away. Hack.
They tell you, your devices listen to you.
They Gene Hackman movies. Let's have a look. What's the famous one he did? He's in bloody lot. Christ Almighty!
He hasn't.
The French Connection.
The
French Connection. Yeah, he's in all the. Oh, he plays. Yeah, he plays. Do you know why? Do you know why I got them mixed up? Oddly, because he plays Lex Luthor in Superman, doesn't he? And he has like curly hair, and he looks a bit like Gene Hackman. Gene Wilder.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah,
sorry,
it's one of the genes. That's a name that's gone out of fashion, hasn't it? Gene. You don't mean it's to us.
Liam Gallagher's got a son called Gene.
Does he?
Gene Gallagher.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to us, what I was going to say to us is like northern. It's like your sort of elderly neighbour, isn't it? Gene.
Anti-Gene.
Anti-Gene. You know, it's that kind of thing. Not really a hard bitten.
Unforgiven. That was a good film he was in, wasn't it?
Narrow Margin was good.
That's a great film. Is that Narrow Margin? And I don't think I've seen that.
So he's where he's on a train and he's escorting like a prison, like a witness.
Do you know, he's one of them actors. Because it's a bit old school. Where I go and look for films I want to watch, and I never think to look for
Crimson Tide. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. He's done some great films, hasn't he? Anyway,
we've got to talking
totally
about
flipping
how
off.
on earth did we get talking about Gene Hackman? Wasn't even in anything.
No, it's Gene Wilder, wasn't it? In
Gene Wilder, yeah. Aye, but it's such a dodgy topic, to be honest. It's like I don't.
It is. I think. Yeah.
I just think. Because, like, I guess you can't really draw parallels, but I'm going to because I'm stupid. But you know, like, I guess it's a little bit like when they were pulling the statues down.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
However,
that's the first. Do you know what? It's funny you should say that because when I read this, that did go through my mind. I thought.
But the difference here, though, is that a statue, kind of by its nature, you know, you erect a statue because, you know, it's kind of like elevating the person that you're, you know, erecting, so to speak. You know, you're kind of raising them up and
well, it's a celebratory
exactly,
sort of
it is a celebrationary
thing.
sort of thing. And when you don't want to be celebrating these sort of things, you know, the sort of people
pull them down and chuck them in a river, don't you?
Well, whether you know, I completely agree that you know, that looking back at history and things are different and of their time, you know, take them down, take a statue down and put it in a museum or the Thames or wherever
you want it,
in the channel. But I get
Manchester Ship Canal.
I kind of get that, but then it's kind of not the same, is it really? Because, you know, you can entirely choose to go and purchase this book or not. Whereas if there's a statue erected in the middle of a town centre or by a dock or whatever, you can't avoid it, and it's like it is
unavoidable.
It's very, very public.
I think the problem comes from a lot of people don't like change, and this sort of and rightly so. This gets up people's noses because it's kind of sacred, isn't it? It's sacred to a lot of people.
I think it's just disrespect. Well,
you know, Roald Dahl books. I mean, it wasn't brought up reading or listening to Roald Dahl stories. You know, it's part of sort of our universal. It's a universal upbringing.
What would they call the twits then? Because I mean, like I think would they change the title?
God, do you know what's a great shot? Yeah, I don't know the twits.
Because I mean, the name itself surely would.
Not quite as clever as the rest of us.
The unsavoury people next door.
The twits. Yeah.
Maybe they go the other way and just call it the twats.
The twats.
Make it as
X-rated.
Make it
not for kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fill these Roald Dahl books full of swear words.
And
graphic imagery, and then the kids won't
graphic imagery.
Then the kids won't read them, will they? That's one way to do it.
Extreme violence.
Extreme violence.
Yeah.
The poor BFG.
Drug use. Then again, I don't know. A lot
things
of
they did to that BFG, with that snozcumber. He didn't deserve that, did he? He didn't deserve it. With his fucking dream trumpet.
Yeah.
They took that dream trumpet, and anyway, next. I think that's that covered anyway. Yeah, but it's. I don't know. It's a funny old. It's a funny old.
The BFG with his BFC.
Oh dear. Anyway, I mean, I think one piece of advice is you don't have to. One thing we have learned from it is you don't have to buy into this shit. You don't have to buy into it. We get antagonised by these things, and you know
we're part of the problem here by even talking about it.
Don't buy it.
Getting outraged over some of that hasn't even happened.
Yeah, they probably want you to get enraged about it. Just don't.
I would. You know, it's what it casts on the wider. You know, the wider.
We have to address that if
it
does start to sort of affect the things, it becomes the norm, and then it needs to start.
I personally don't. You know, Roald Dahl books. I don't think it's going to have a meaningful effect on the world. Taking some words in Roald Dahl books and changing the words around.
No.
The world is not going to crumble because of that. But the act of doing that, then maybe that makes it acceptable to
for other people to do it.
For other people to do it, and then that knocks onto something else, and it's more that.
Suddenly everything's made a corduroy, isn't it?
Surely, if you don't agree with the language, just don't read the books.
That's what art is, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't police art.
Ooh, now we're getting deep.
No, but books are art, aren't they? Art is art.
Mm. The only art that isn't art is that crap that's in the Tate Modern.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and talk about something I don't really know anything about. But I'm sure this could be dangerous. I'm sure a few years ago, did they not make an image of Moira Hindley from the people where she was from or something? And it was like, I remember seeing it and thinking, wow, that is a hell of a thing to do, or something like that. Without researching, I do it. But that's art, isn't it?
Yeah.
Regardless of the facts of what I'm talking about here, but that kind of thing is art, isn't it? Art can be dangerous, and art is to make a statement and make a point, and is edgy and is in your face, and it makes you want to, scream and shout, and it makes you want to.
Well, that's it. It doesn't always have to make you have warm, nice, fuzzy feelings.
No,
it's
exactly.
the same with music. It can.
Yeah, and art isn't always about making you feel great and giving you something to do at night after you finish work. It's about provoking a response, isn't it, and making people remember and think and making a point. And you can't. You're supposed to hate art. You're supposed to love art, aren't you? It's just. And I've gone off on a bit of a
you're right.
tangent.
You're right. And I think that's the thing. That literature isn't like music and like film. There's plenty of films that have been, I say, banned, but you know what I mean. They wouldn't show at the cinema because of the content, but they don't. You can watch them, but they just come with heavy disclaimers and warnings and I just think I think you can be a little bit sensitive.
Yeah, things become a little sterile, don't they?
But make the world a better place in every meaningful way and every way you can, but. If we're down to that level, I think we've gone too far.
I think we need to. I think the problem can be addressed in schools and can be addressed with parents at home. Yeah. If you're worried about your children calling other children fat because they've read it in a in a Roald Dahl book, I think you're starting at the wrong place to start sorting this problem out.
The other obvious one that isn't new is like, well, don't read the Bible then. Don't read the Quran, because there's some pretty fucked up shit in them books. Why is that all right?
Yeah, well,
why is that okay?
There you go. We need to make ourselves educate our children a bit better, don't we? That's where it starts. If we bring our children up a little bit better, Starts at home, eh? Oh my word! Oh, I better go. I've got to go and get Lila from school. Hey, well, anyway, it's been a great podcast.
That's all we've got time for this week. See you next week.
See you later, man.